Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to English Department English Debate 2017. My name is Nenglan Santi Permana as an adjudicator. In this debate, we have a motion. This House believes that English Department should prioritize the teaching of modern literature over classical literatures. On this debate, we have two teams, which is government teams and the opposing teams. In the government team, we have Anggina as the Prime Minister, of government team, and then Dea as the Deputy Prime Ministers of the government team. And then in the opposing team, we have Dafa as the leader of opposing teams, and Ariel as the deputy of leader opposing team. Before we begin the debate, I will explain the rule first. So each speaker can come forward to deliver their speech for about 7 minutes. I will knock one time when they reach 5 minutes of their speech, and then knocks twice when they reach 7 minutes of their speech, and then continuously knocks when they have exceeded their time limits of speech. So that's all the rule. Now let's call the first speaker of the government team. Anggina, time is yours.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for the time that given to me. I'm Anggina Ritonang as the Prime Minister from the government team. Would like to give the argument from knowledge perspective. Modern Literature Studies is a peer-reviewed academic journal covering the study of English literature and literary culture in the 16th and 17th centuries. Besides that, I'll deliver some argument about the motion. Bringing more modern literature into high school English classes would make students feel less distant from the material and encourage them to do well. The works of modern authors like Shakespeare are widely taught because their work has stood the best of time and continues to inspire modern readers. However, the English in this work is not useful for modern speakers. It doesn't seem productive to expose students to archaic English when many do not even have a firm grasp on the language they use every day. The grammatical structures and idiomatic expression used in Hamlet would sound completely ridiculous in everyday conversation today. It will be even more frustrating for students learning English as a second language to be subjected to these works. In combination with the rigid, somewhat impractical English in ESL textbooks, reading archaic works would likely make the student feel that learning English is far more difficult than it needs to be. Additionally, it would be discouraging and disheartening to be unable to comprehend words in language previously felt you had grasped. This is unfortunate because many ESL students do not realize their classmates don't really know that language that much better than they do. Their classmates know how it is supposed to sound because of years of exposure. That's all from me, thank you.
Thank you for the first speaker of the government team who has delivered her arguments. The first speaker of the government team took 2 minutes and 36 seconds. Next, for the next speaker is Dafa from the leader of opposing teams. Time is yours.
Good morning, everyone. Let me introduce myself briefly. I'm Dafa from the leader opposing team. And first and foremost, Classical literature might be outdated for this era or curriculum. However, we shouldn't hold and leave it just like that. To say briefly, classics are generally accepted as exemplary works of fiction, and of course, teach students a great deal. And remember, English class or whatsoever is to analyze for symbols, motifs, and themes, which helps students use to write an essay, and we need to underline misconception from today's literature that cannot be analyzed the same way. And these words cannot meet the same standard and objective. We know and believe that modern literature possesses all of the necessary qualities of literature. However, there are still and remain benefit from classic that modern does not offer, where classic literature presents view of world perspective, allows students to learn about Old English from Romeo and Juliet by Shakespeare. Classic depict eras that modern author cannot easily capture. Therefore, classic shouldn't completely removed because it also main aspect for essay. It teach life lesson as well. Thank you.
Thank you for the leader opposing team who has delivered his arguments. The speaker took 1 minute and 34 seconds. Next speaker is Dea, the Deputy Prime Minister. Time is yours.
Good morning everyone, I'm Dea Febrian Batolu. As Deputy Prime Minister, I will give my argument to opposition. First, I disagree with you and believe that teaching more modern literature works would make English more accessible for those taking this class. College and university offer more specific classes for those who want to learn about works from other time periods. High school teachers should be focusing primarily on making sure students know how to use the English language well enough to make themselves understood and to take advantage of all opportunities. Using literature that might be found on students' bookshelf will certainly make English classes more interesting. Modern literature offers more variety in English classes. So in conclusion, by adding more modern literature that has more relevance to students past, present, and future than a Greek tragedy, students can better from their own relationship with what they have to read. They know more about what the work was like when the work was written and what things influenced the author. Thank you.
Thank you for the Deputy Prime Minister who has delivered her arguments. The speaker took 1 minute and 23 seconds. Now the next speaker is the Deputy of Leader opposing team, which is Ariel. Time is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. I, Ariel Ferry Juliani, as the Deputy Leader of Opposite, want to make some strength argument from my partner Dafa as the Leader of Opposition. Most students are exposed to reading before they are exposed to the opportunities of playing musical instruments. However, reading any book in order to learn to read and gain comprehension, vocabulary, and language skill is not the same as studying classics. The study of classic literature involves a more in-depth investigation than most students will experience until the 7th or 8th grade at the earliest. Almost any book can help a child to read, but not every child has the same interest. In case of classic literature, some students may be partial to contemporary fiction, some to historical fiction, and some to any genre of non-fiction. To limit a child to a specific set of books based on studies and research is not best option, as the more individualized a curriculum is, the better a student is
Now
able
the debate is over. The participants may leave the rooms as the educator to evaluate the debate. In 10 minutes, the participants may come back and the educator will announce the result. Thank you. Now it's time for the adjudicating time. After we evaluate the debate, we got the result. The winner is the government team. The reasons why is because the government team has stronger arguments about the topics. They could explain more clear about the importance of modern literatures for the English department learners. But for the opposing team, their arguments is weaker, even though they explain about the benefits of classical literatures. But from both of the speakers from opposing teams, their arguments is constant. So their arguments is not growing. But however, both of the teams, they could not give the clear examples of their arguments. I think that's all. Now the debate is over. The participants may leave the room. Thank you.